What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fit, Healthy, and most of all, Happy podcast. I'm your coach and host, Josh, here with
his co-host and co-coach, KG, and I'm in the house.
Today, we're going to be sharing 10 unique super habits of super fit people. So this is going to be a killer episode. Obviously, we've had the opportunity. I'd consider ourselves pretty fit, pretty elite. We both won well over 3 to 5 powerlifting meets each. We've done a physique show that we've done exceptionally well in. We've coached thousands of individuals. We maintained a healthy physique through all the ebbs and flows in life. So we're really excited to share with our experience as well as the experience we've had coaching so many amazing, talented athletes, celebrities, and more, and really how we help lock them into routines that keep them healthy and fit for their lifestyle and to maintain this level of health and fitness. But before we jump into it, make sure you stay right till the end, because number 10, I think, is the secret that really took me from being average to getting to more of that elite, just kind of percentile. And that it really is a mindset shift. So definitely make sure you don't miss out on that tip, because I'm really excited to share it. But Kyle's going to kick it off with numero uno.
Now, number 1 is no off days. Before everyone gets a little bit triggered here, I want to say it doesn't mean going to the gym every day. It doesn't mean strength training 7 days a week. It means being the best you can, active wise and nutrition wise, every single day. So let me explain. I used to be the type of person who used to think that when I had a rest day, I couldn't move. Like, I just remember being like, I'm going to preserve for the next day. And this was a really bad mindset. I know some people are like this, but for me personally, there's never a lazy day. If it's a Sunday, I'm going to go for a 5K walk. I'm going to spend a bit more time exercising. And we like to look at it as an active recovery day. So we go to the gym 5 times per week. We crush the strength training workouts. 2 days, you're going to spend a bit more time maybe doing a sport, maybe doing a walk, obviously recovering as well. But I think a lot of times people, they just really have, like, some days they do really great, some days they do nothing, where it's like one day 15K steps, the other day 2K steps, nutritionally as well. This is the biggest thing here. One day they're crushing their macros, like maybe Monday to Wednesday, then Thursday to Saturday, it's really bad. You have to just be on at all times. And that doesn't mean being perfect, but it means just showing up for yourself every single day consistently. That makes such a big difference. So no off days, spend time getting some movement in, always move your body. It allows momentum to carry. And I know a lot of people, they'll be like, hey, if I don't go to the gym, I feel like I'm missing out or I'm losing momentum and I want to eat poorly. That's why every day you just do some sort of movement and you show up for yourself. You're just going to be consistent. It's going to turn into a habit. So that is tip number 1.
Yeah, remove something you have to do is something you get to do. And you want rest days, especially away from lifting, but it's good to keep moving. And it could be like going on a bike, rollerblading, doing some gardening, cleaning your house. Like, just getting some form of movement in every day is such an edge. Whereas if you really sloth around, I find that's never productive. So switching that to that active recovery mindset is really powerful. And hopefully that was a good belief breaker for you. The next, if you want to be super fit, you need to invest in your health. And there are different criteria to this, I guess. And I really want you to know the best investments you can make will always produce returns. So on a very basic level, the most basic of basic levels is like getting a gym membership. I hear all the time from new people, especially in the DMs, like, I'd like to go to the gym, but I'm not paying $40 a month. That's ridiculous. And it might be ridiculous. 40 is a little ridiculous. I pay 200, which is super ridiculous. I actually have 2 gym memberships. But when you consider the price of inaction and me not going there, me not being fit, it's a no-brainer. And the unfortunate thing is, it's very easy to be like, $40 is a steal for this happy hour bill I got, or for this really nice new piece of clothing. But you have to consider, like, you need to get over this hurdle. You need a gym membership so you can actually go in there and lift weights. People cheap out here, save the $40, try to build a home gym or do bodyweight movements, never succeed with it, and end up like 40 pounds heavier, not fit. They're going to age faster. They're avoiding all the benefits of longevity and the results they could have got by making that investment. So if you're cheaping out here, I need to call you out, because I can assure you a gym membership is worth it. And what's good is when you pay attention. And for you, if you buy a gym membership, I actually recommend people get a more bougie gym membership, because it forces you to get in there more. Obviously, I'm away from my normal gym right now. That's on pause, but we're paying crazy money for a month pass. Like, it is just crazy money, honestly. I think it's like $160 or something for us to go each for the month, which is absurd. And we have 2 other gym memberships that are on pause that we're paying to pause. But because it's so much, I ain't missing the gym. I'm like, I'm getting in there. I'm making it count. I even told Kyle, I said, we got to go Monday through Friday this week so we don't have to pay that $22 day pass or whatever it is. And that way we can avoid that. So as silly as it sounds, when you have that, you'll want to use it more. Where people go wrong is they'll do these like Planet Fitness memberships, $5 feels good. You can tell everyone you had a gym membership. You went for like 3 days, but you don't actually go. Whereas the people I know that are the most ease have, like I said, have multiple gym memberships. They make it easier for themselves. They'll shower there. They'll socialize there. They'll perhaps do their rec sports there, like basketball, whatever it may be. And once again, if you're not in the position to ball out on it, at least get one that you'll appreciate going to, that's clean, that has the equipment you need to progress. Make that basic level of investment. Past that, obviously, you could start to get a little more exotics with like basic supplements like creatine monohydrate, investing in better food, obviously, for yourself. And this isn't an easy thing to do per se, investing in better food, because it can get quite expensive, but there is a smart way to do this. And then when you look at it as it's an investment in yourself, every good meal is building you up, building you closer to your goal and keeping you away from being fit and unhealthy. It's a lot more inspiring, and it'll be easier for you to make choices, because sometimes it's cheaper to order a pizza instead of a really healthy alternative option. But start to rework this mindset and say, I invest in myself. Another rule I have is I have no budget for books. I will spend as much money unlimited on books because I love books. And at first I used to think, oh, $15, that's a lot. But some of these books have helped me just excel in just so many different ways, like a million different ways, which is so powerful. So when you actually start to look at things, like any investment in yourself will always have the best return. So I think everyone should be at least at this level. The next level is like a little bit more So this would be fitness trackers, like a nice Apple Watch, maybe more of an opportunity for you to look at data, stuff like that. Nicer gym clothes. When you have nicer clothes, you might be more motivated to get in there. You'll enjoy it more. But I personally don't believe you need this. When I started, I didn't have a ton of money. I was a kid. Like I'd buy all my stuff at a thrift store and then I'd sleeve monster it, which is pretty jokes. And that's what I would do. And I thought it looked sick. I'd sleeve monster everything. Kyle would sleeve monster everything. I wore my gym shorts from like 4 years ago, like whatever. You don't need all this crazy stuff, but I know for some people it's very motivating for them. So that's something you can explore. Like I said, these higher level gyms or clubs, for some people, it really helps them actually get there, especially when they have nicer amenities and you're more comfortable showering and sauning and doing those things. That's something you can look at. Past that as well, paying more for nicer options, eating out. Like I said, salad, eating out sometimes expensive. Adding chicken sometimes gets very expensive. Sometimes adding 2 chickens can get quite expensive, but that's something you could look at. And perhaps doing that will save you from eating a bunch of garbage, feeling bad, and derailing from your goals. But the best investment of all, of course, I would say is trainers and coaches, because you're knowing what you're doing is right. Any good trainer will guarantee the results and stand behind it. And that's what we do. So if you want to learn more about how you can work with us one-on-one and have us as your coaches so you can get your guaranteed results and save a lot of money on the other nonsense, because you can just know you're on the path to being your best self, check out the first link. Basically just an application to our coaching. If you've been wanting to apply, there is no better time to do it, because we actually have discounted spots available in early access only in March. Come over to April, the early access pricing will be gone, and it is going to be quite a bit more, because we're going to get a rush as our challenge starts up in May. And it's going to be a crazy challenge, thousands of prizes, tons of motivation, doing it alongside me and Kyle. So this is your chance to get registered early, get started early, build momentum into that so you can actually be a challenge winner. So if you're serious about seeing change, let's work together. Let's do this. Click that first link. But the second is investment in your health.
Awesome. And number 3 is just simply tracking progress. So I would say the 4 things you can do here. I'm going to start with strength gain. So just keep track of how much you're lifting and how much you're progressing over time. That's going to be number 1. The scale will also be very important. I know I had a huge tangent on Monday. Hopefully you got to hear that about, how to detach yourself from the scale. But over time with the average weigh-ins, that is another amazing progress mechanism that the super fit and healthy will use. 3 is going to be photos. This will be able to help you dictate. And I would say every month is great. It's what we do for all of our coaching clients. They'll send photos, we'll put it side by side and make sure that you're progressing in the ways that you want to. And then last but not least, measurements. So basically you'll just measure all the specific areas, your arms, your glutes, your quads, your calves, all that stuff. Do that once a month and you'll be able to see what changes you need to make, like how your body's progressing. And then if it's not, you can make those adjustments. Obviously, that's what we do for all of our coaching clients, is make those changes based off of how the body's reacting. But every fit person tracks progress in one way or another. Some people do it differently. Some people use their Whoop watch band and check all their different levels of how, rested they are, and like they'll see like heart rate and all that stuff. And there's a lot more to consider, but at a very basic level, keeping track of progress is the best way to make sure that you're going to be able to make progress, simply said. So that's going to be tip number 3.
Yeah, any super fit person will know their stats, they'll know their weights, they'll know like their personal weight, they'll know what weights they lift, they'll know what their goals are, they'll know all these different things. So like Kyle said, keeping all these different metrics and really keeping an eye on it allows you to actually be motivated to make change. So this is a really big one. Tracking progress is huge. So don't overlook that. The next one, and this is a big paradigm shift, I think, for most people, and that's not just doing what you feel like whenever you feel like doing it. And that sounds like the most obvious piece of advice in the world, but I just think the layperson who isn't a super fit person will just be like, I want this, and they'll go and get it. There'll be no thought to the effect of it or the calories of it or whatever it may be. But when you start analyzing, like, how can I actually be strategic about this? So for me, it's easy. If I'm out walking the town, maybe I'll go buy a pizza place, but I'm going to get this slice of pizza. Then I'm walking, like, this ice cream stand looks so good. And I get that. I'm like, oh, this is my favorite burger place. I'm going to get a burger, and I have a burger and fries. And then I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just grab one drink. Like, I'm having like 3,000 calories in this hypothetical situation because I'm just like a kid, like in a candy store going, I want this, I want this, I want this. But it's going to come at such a cost, right? Like 3,000 calories, I'm probably going to spill out into the next day. I'm going to sleep in. It's going to cause me to keep doing that. And there's such an effect. Whereas if you want to be super fit, it's more like, hey, I'm out. Like, what do I want to enjoy? Maybe I have that slice of pizza. I call it a cap there. It's something I've enjoyed. I've had a plan. Better yet, maybe I pre-log in that day because I know I'm going to have more of a fun night, or I choose to be a little bit intentional, but within reason. I do 2 out of the 4 things I listed there instead, and then I aim to get right back to it the next day. But the more you can really just set boundaries and aim to win bulk of your days, that's how you'll produce the best transformation. If you can have a great record and you can say 29 out of 30 days, I'm on lock, I'm doing what I need to do, and you can still be human, things come up. And I say all the time, if you want to be intentional, and you can choose to do that. It's not that you should suck all the fun from your life, but as someone who is pretty fit, like doing that, I know I'd feel good in 10 seconds eating those foods, but I know I'd feel pretty gross the next day, and I know it'd be too much food and it just wouldn't make me feel my best. So that's something I wouldn't choose to do, but there are things I love. Like, I do love a great pasta, a nice dinner. Sometimes I'll ball out in those situations, but I'll plan for it and I'll be intentional. It'll be very calculated. So instead of just doing things whimsically, like having more of a plan and looking to make things in line with your goals and to use higher level strategies to appreciate them guilt-free, like I said, with pre-logging, protein fasting, understanding your caloric limits and making it fit within it, 80-20 rule, all these things will make it so much easier for you to do. When you don't feel like going to the gym, go anyways. Like, set that habit, set that discipline. But doing these things is often the barrier between people that are really struggling and people that are succeeding.
Yeah, and some people may think, like, if you're a fit person, you don't do anything, like no dessert, no extra thing, no whatever. The truth is, like Josh said, they plan for it and they allocate. Like, what they don't do is just go and just grab everything in sight and give into every temptation. And this carries over into number 5, which is awesome, thinking long-term and practicing delayed gratification. So this is something I'm really big on because I feel like I could sometimes struggle with it if I don't. And it's just really reminding yourself of the goals that you have. And even myself now, going through my diet phase, like, there's a lot of big goals I want to accomplish, like between, the photos that I want to get, which is going to help our business grow and it's going to make me feel great. Like, so a lot of the things I'm doing is like thinking of that long-term goal, right? Even just delaying gratification. I think it's really important not to give into every temptation. And as much as I'd love to just like go off on the deep end and have everything everyone else has, or, just like not do what I should be doing, if I say to myself, hey, like, there'll be another time, or maybe tomorrow, or just push that down the road and realize like I can still incorporate something, but it's just maybe not going to be right now. Like, that's to me one of the greatest skill sets anyone can have. And this could come to, anything finance related. It could come to materialistic things. It could, anything in life. If you practice delayed gratification and you just don't give in to like every little temptation and think you need it right away, it makes such a big difference. So this is something I'm reminding myself of, but that's going to be number 5 for today.
Yeah, and number six is just simply super fit people make hydration a priority. Anyone I know who is very fit or an elite athlete or just has a really healthy physique, they're always drinking water. They're always aware of it. They're never letting themselves get dehydrated. And it is very hard to set this habit and make it a reality, but the more you do it, the better you feel. And when you train hard, you need that hydration. When you eat healthier, you appreciate water more and you can get away from needing like sugary drinks all the time or just things you shouldn't be having. So this is a really simple one. I just recommend keeping water by your side. Always be sipping it. It's the simplest and easiest way to be hydrated. Bring it around with you. If you need to reach for something, go with water. Anytime you're out, start by ordering water. That can save you from some tricky situations as well. But quite simply, make hydration a priority.
Yeah, next up is just going that extra mile, doing a little bit more. This can come in so many different ways, shapes, and forms. Some examples would just be doing some extra abs, having less desserts, taking that extra minute or extra few minutes to log accurately, to look at labels when you're going out to, pre-log. Like that extra mile is never crowded for a reason. And the people that are super fit are the ones that are looking to go that extra mile to maybe spend a bit of extra time stretching at night. Like the super fit go that extra step. And the thing a lot of people don't realize is that they think it has to take a lifetime of time to do it. You have to spend 8 hours a day doing all this stuff. It's like, it's not the reality at all. You're doing what is in your plan, but you're doing it intelligently. You're doing it with intention, and you might do a little bit more instead of taking those consistent shortcuts. And the least fit people are the ones that unfortunately are always taking shortcuts within every meal, within every, cardio session, within every workout. They're always cutting themselves short, and they're wondering, hey, why aren't I seeing those results? The super fit go that extra mile. They do one more rep. They do one more set. Maybe they, do an extra minute of cardio. Go one more. I promise you, it's not about that extra minute. It's not about that extra set. It's about the person that you become within the process. And you're that person who doesn't take shortcuts, which subconsciously makes a big difference on your journey.
Yeah, I find most people's mindset is how can I do less or how can I get out of this hard thing? Whereas people that are super fit are saying, how can I do more? How can I push myself? How can I optimize? So rework that mentality a bit and fake it till you make it. Maybe you're not super fit, but I can assure you, if you just start doing all these things, even when you don't feel like doing them, you'll become super fit really quick. You'll be quite blown away by it. So just a quick tip there. But the next tip I would have if you want to be super fit is limiting processed foods. It's not to say you can never have them, and I still do eat processed foods, of course, but I try to limit them. I aim to really shop the perimeter of the grocery store. I aim to have whole foods. I aim to eat out at more intelligent places when I have the choice, and I really always look for like good sources of hearty food. And it's really easy just to get these quick pre-made meals perhaps that are heavily processed or fun heavily processed Pop-Tarts or whatever it may be. But the more you can avoid these and the more you can eat whole foods, they actually will contain less calories. They'll satiate you more. They'll cause you to feel more full, and they'll cause you to feel more full, and on top of that, they're also going to contain more micronutrients and fibers and proteins. So in general, the more you can limit processed foods, the easier it's going to make it for yourself to be super fit.
Yeah, and number 9 is just optimization of sleep. So it's just creating an environment that allows you to get the best quality sleep. It's going to bed at roughly the same time, getting up at the same time, keeping the temperature nice and cool so you can get a better sleep, maybe investing in that better pillow or some sheets or, even that bed as well makes a big difference, right? So the super fit, pay attention to this because this is one of the most overlooked things. You spend a lot of time in your bed trying to recover and sleeping, and a lot of people are just not really caring. They don't really care about it. They wonder why they're maybe gaining fat. They wonder why maybe they don't have energy the next day. A lot of it comes down to this. So I know it sounds very simple, and a lot of people are like, oh, I already pay attention to my sleep. It's like, do you really? Like, how is are there lights coming into the room? Like, are you, finding ways to get yourself interrupted, checking your phone in the middle of the night because it's right beside you? Like, pay attention to this stuff, and I promise you it can help you excel at a higher level, and that's what super fit people will always do.
All right. And last but not least, the big one I promised you is avoiding an all or nothing mentality and making fitness a lifestyle. So when I started, I remember I wanted to be fit. I can't remember exactly what inspired it, but I really wanted to. And I was all in. I was doing P90X each day. I was lifting at school a little bit. I was trying to do walks or runs or whatever the heck I was doing. I would do these chin-ups and all these crazy things. I remember I removed all the fun foods I liked and I only ate healthy. Like I did everything all in. And then when I'd fall away from that, it would really be just a splurge or it'd be too extreme. And then I'd be off and on. And it just was so hot and cold. And that really just caused me to be stagnant because I'd progress up, down, progress up, progress down. And it caused me to hate the journey more. But as I've done this longer and longer, and the more I've found to make this a lifestyle, I've learned to be more sustainable with it. And it sounds like I'm restricting myself by being structured and tracking my food daily, weighing in daily, but it's actually more freeing because it's giving me the awareness and the control and the ability to think through things rationally. That other component is impossible for me to succeed at, to only eat healthy foods, to exercise myself past what I'm capable of doing. And I think I was playing like 5 different sports at that time. It just wasn't realistic, and it's going to cause you to burn out and resent what you're doing. But like I said, when you learn higher level systems that cause you to exactly change how you want your weight to be, how you want to look, do you want to be more lean, do you want to be more full, you want to put on muscle and lose fat, it's incredibly freeing. And when you come to appreciate that journey and you enjoy lifting and you enjoy eating healthier and you utilize 80/20 so you can still have your favorite foods and still make everything fit in totally guilt-free, it is so much better than just having extremes. And all the time I see people that are like super fit and they're like, I don't eat any of that garbage. Like they'll see me eating like, I don't know, a donut or something. Like I would never eat a donut. And that person eats healthy, but I know on that one day they go off the rails, they go off hard, right? And that's like kind of what's going to promote binge eating amongst other problems. So I find removing that position of all or nothing and just making it something you do day in, day out and saying, I live this healthy lifestyle and choosing to make these healthier decisions, it's incredibly freeing. So I can promise you, change that mentality, make fitness a part of your lifestyle, make intelligent decisions, and that is going to make a world of difference because it absolutely did for me. And it's great to be able to enjoy this component, continually progress, have my favorite foods, not be spending forever in the gym and still be putting on crazy muscle, crazy strength by doing things smarter. And I would love to teach you how I do this one-on-one by getting in there and working on a routine, a system, a structure, goals, a nutrition plan exactly for you. I have 10 plus years experience, over 4,500 transformations. So I can assure you, we're going to see your results. And I stand behind that so much that it's fully guaranteed or your money back. So if you've been thinking about getting set up with coaching, there is no better time than right now because we have that reduced price. We have the Summer Shred Challenge starting in May. So I'll coach you before that and through that. And on top of that, once again, we're going into summer. So we'll have you shredded, peeled, new muscle, less fat for summer, which is going to be absolutely exciting. And if you want to do that, click that first link. It's just a form to apply. You can apply, make sure we're a great fit, and we'll take care of that. But thank you for tuning in today. You now know the 10 habits of super fit people. Like I said, fake it till you make it. Start doing these, start seeing some change, and you're going to see some killer results. If you love this episode, share it to your story so more people can see it. Make sure to tag us in it. Our Instagram is @ColossisFit. Love to reshare that, and we'd love to connect with you in the DMs there. So thank you for tuning in. Peace out.